Mechanism Monday, Indivisible. If you're familiar with these sessions, you probably heard the title and knew where this was going. Hell, if you tuned in last week, and you know I'm not political, even I couldn't ignore the landslide of bad news that we've seen since this new administration started making changes. I couldn't even fit it all in to that session, and it's been more on the front pages since then. That is good news and bad news with all this fuckery. The bad news is pretty obvious. Everything from meta firing fact checkers to the government deading any acknowledgement of Black History Month while deciding that DEI is a bad word, to the new DOJ suspending civil rights investigations, to the modern day Tony Stark minus the inventions and moral code throwing up the worst possible gang sign, and so much more. Flint ain't even got clean water yet. All arrows point to some turbulent times ahead. The good news, if you can call it that, when our backs are to the wall with a common foe in sight, we as humans have a way of unifying that is second to none. And this is looking a lot like that. Granted, it's not the first time we've had to fight for civil rights in this country, but when the backslide seems to be spinning us into a new era of Jim Crow, some of us want to deny the issues, some of us want to I told you so to supporters, and some of us want to act as if it's politics as usual. But I've also seen a good chunk of people who understand that this is a window for us to get through this the best way we can, and that's together. Personally, I believe that while multiple things can be true at the same time, the emphasis needs to be on that last one. Unfortunately, in a world full of rugged individualism that's taught us from day one to mistrust our own and always go for self, unity is not going to be easy to come by, no matter how much we all need it. But here's my thing. Now, if you don't think we need unity or that it's even possible, this message ain't for you, and please do us all a favor and keep the negative shit to yourself for 5 minutes. But if you do believe it's necessary and possible, then I want you to remember the weight of that necessity when you begin to approach other like-minded folks to click up. Whatever angle you come from, whether it's religious, cultural, financial, or technical, try not to use your beliefs or your position as a pedestal to look down on those who ain't with it, need more time to get with it, or maybe just ain't as with it as you are. Hell, I had a brother in the comments in my last session who I'm sure meant well and is probably doing the work, decide he didn't appreciate me talking to the people who may have been struggling to process everything going on, and instead decided to come at me with what actions he assumed I wasn't taking, as opposed to offering his own or making them available for others to join. Folks, when we're talking to our own, approach is going to be the key. Didn't faze me because I do what I do, but judging, shaming, or condescending to people you don't know into doing what you think they should be doing without offering what you're doing will usually result in those people wanting nothing to do with you, especially if it means dealing with more people who move like you do. If you really believe that we are outmanned, outgunned, outmaneuvered, and out of time, then you know the last thing we can afford to do is make outcasts of each other. Chill.